Are you finding yourself stuck? Do you yearn for a life richer, deeper, and more fulfilled? A life in which you are really flourishing rather than merely going through the grind. It's not a magic pill or a get-rich-quick scheme. Rather, it's a straightforward but effective tool that can change your attitude to life. If you answered yes, get ready. I'm about to share something that could change everything. Stoicism is a tool that can unlock your true potential and set you on a road toward a life of abundance and joy. Not some outdated philosophy irrelevant to our modern world, but rather a practical and pragmatic approach to life that can help you negotiate the challenges and uncertainty of the 21st century. This ancient philosophy has stood the test of time and continues to inspire and empower people from all walks of life. As the Stoic philosopher Epictetus famously observed, Stoicism teaches us that true happiness and contentment come not from external circumstances, but from our interior state of mind. It's not about what occurs to us, but how we respond to it. Stoicism also underlines the need of living in line with nature, of connecting our activities with our beliefs and principles. If one does not know to which port one is sailing, no wind is favorable. But Stoicism is not only about lofty ideals and abstract concepts, it is a practical philosophy that offers concrete tools and techniques for living a better life. It teaches us how to manage our emotions, endure hardship, and develop moral qualities like knowledge, encourage justice, and temperance. So I welcome you to investigate the wisdom of Stoicism. It could just be the secret weapon you have been looking for. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe if you are ready to break free from the monotony of daily life and embrace a life of abundance and joy. Control and choice. The Stoic art of mastering one's own thoughts via practice and training. You may have experienced the sensation that everything that you are unable to control is pulling you in a myriad of different directions. It is true that there is an old philosophy known as Stoicism that offers some genuinely strong insights on how to deal with all of that. The greatest part is that it is not some boring academic theory. Rather, it is guidance that you can use on a daily basis. So, what exactly is the problem with control and choice? In a strict sense, these remarkable thinkers who lived in ancient Greece and Rome several millennia ago were concerned with identifying what is truly within our power to affect and what is not. Epictetus, a prominent figure in the legends of Stoicism, expressed it in this manner. This is the most important work in life. It is similar to drawing a line in the sand. On one side, you have the things that you have control over, such as your ideas, your actions, and your reactions. This is your domain. This is what you own. On the other side, you have the wild west of events that come from the outside, such as the current weather conditions, the viewpoints of other individuals. Trying to bring a tropical storm under control is similar to the financial market, which is absolutely beyond your ability to change. You are unable to stop the rain from falling, but you have the option of getting an umbrella and dancing in it. This additional time offers you with the option of either reading a book or catching up on your email. I know what you are thinking, but hold on. Doesn't all of that stuff have an effect on me? That is true. Remember that this is a marathon, not a sprint. Put in the effort to become an expert in the art of control and choice. Believe me, it is well worth it. The more you concentrate on the things that are actually under your control, the less stress you will experience from the ones that are not. This is the path that leads to a life that is more tranquil and fulfilling. Education is freedom. Learning is liberation. What's the big deal about education being freedom? We're talking about releasing mental chains and mastering our own destinies here, not only textbooks and tests. Approach it like this. Your mind is like a large uncharted area full of possibilities, but also covered in dead ends and traps. Your reliable map and compass across the wilderness is education, which also helps you find hidden treasures. A liberation from ignorance. Have you ever heard the proverb, ignorance is bliss? Well, that's just not true. Ignorance is a prison trapping you in a limited world view and limiting your choices. From clickbait headlines to political propaganda, education is the key that unlocks that prison, allowing you to see the world in all its complexity and beauty. Socrates said the unexamined life is not worth living. Freedom from manipulation in today's world. One finds it difficult to know what to believe. As Immanuel Kant said, education provides the tools you need to critically assess material and make wise decisions free from prejudice. Enlightenment is man emerging from his self-imposed immaturity. Freedom to decide your own course devoid of knowledge. You are like a ship without a rudder aimlessly traversing life, yet with knowledge and skills you may plot your own route and negotiate towards your objectives. Whether you are simply living a more full life or launching a business driven by a creative passion, education provides the means to bring it about. Education is about growing your full self, not only about stuffing your mind with facts and figures and intellect, your creativity, your critical thinking ability, your empathy. It's about developing into a well-rounded person who can make significant contributions to society. As Aristotle said, the ultimate worth of existence based on awareness and the power of reflection, rather than upon simple survival. The dropout from college who transformed the planet, Steve Jobs, left college, but he never stopped learning. He consumed books, went to seminars, and looked for mentors. Furthermore, vital for creating strong communities, supporting social development, and tackling world issues is education. So what are you waiting for? Go out there, learn something fresh, pick up a book, attend a class, watch a documentary, talk with someone who disagrees with you. Accept the ability of education to open your horizons and release your whole potential by tearing down obstacles. Remember, as Nelson Mandela pointed out, that the most effective weapon you have to transform the world is knowledge. Things don't matter. The Stoic practice of giving prioritization. If you're nodding along, then you're not alone. Be merciless to the things that don't matter. Ever feel like you're constantly running on a hamster wheel, chasing your tail, but never really getting anywhere? Like your life is a never-ending to-do list, filled with obligations, distractions, and just plain old stuff. Seneca, a knowledgeable Stoic philosopher from ancient Rome, completely understands. He stated how many have destroyed your life while you were not conscious of what you were losing, how much was squandered in needless sadness, foolishness, joyful need, and social entertainment. Seneca's not trying to be a negative, he's just keeping it real. If we're not careful, our lives can easily get consumed by things that don't really matter, and before we know it, we've wasted precious time and energy on things that don't bring us true fulfillment or happiness. Considering it, how much time do you spend obsessing over things you cannot control or browsing social media, binge-watching Netflix? How frequently do you say yes to activities you actually don't want to engage in order to satisfy others or out of obligation? Though each of these small actions seems harmless on their own, taken together, they rob our time, energy, and focus. Given the things that really count, what then is the answer? Be merciless. Start by determining the things that are really important to you. Your values will guide you. Then, take a hard look at everything else in your life and ask yourself, does this serve my purpose? This will help me to get closer to the person I want to be. This is your one and only life. Do not let it be wasted on pointless pursuits or meaningless distractions. This does not mean you have to become a minimalist or live like a monk. Just be more intentional about how you spend your time and energy. Be merciless to the things that have little bearing on your future self and create space for the things that will reward you now. Core values here is your Stoic cheat sheet for a better existence. Into the heart of Stoicism, the big three, the core disciplines that the Stoics lived and breathed. These aren't just some dusty, old philosophical concept. They're a practical toolkit for navigating the chaos of life with grace, wisdom, and a whole lot of inner peace. So what are these big three, you ask? Let's break it down one perception. It is not just about the events that take place in your life. It is also about how you interpret and make sense of those events. This is all about how you perceive the world. It was the belief of the Stoics that our perceptions determine our reality. Therefore, if we want to make changes in our life, we must begin by altering the way in which we perceive things. Imagine putting on a new pair of glasses, and all of a sudden, the world appears to be a little brighter and a little clearer. Taking action is about taking such impressions and converting them into actions that are intentional and purposeful rather than random. Stoics were not merely philosophers who sat around doing nothing. Rather, they were people who really did things. They held the belief that our activities were to be guided by reason, virtue, and a feeling of duty to both ourselves and others. Stoics felt that it is not just about doing something, it is about doing the right thing. It is about embracing the things that you cannot control, the curveballs that life throws your way, the inevitable failures and disappointments that life throws your way. This is the ultimate test of your Stoic mettle. The Stoics understood that we can't control everything that happens to us, but we can control how we respond. It's about cultivating a sense of inner strength, resilience, and acceptance even in the face of adversity. Now you might be wondering, how do I actually put this stuff into practice? Well, here's a little cheat sheet you can carry with you. Control your perceptions instead of getting caught up in negativity or letting your emotions run wild. Take a step back and examine your thoughts. Are they rational? Are they helpful? Are they based on reality? Or are you just telling yourself stories? Direct your actions properly before you act. Ask yourself, is this the right thing to do? Is this in line with my values and principles? Is this going to help me or others? Then act with intention and purpose, willingly accept what's outside your control when things don't go your way. Don't waste your energy on anger, frustration, or self-pity. Instead, accept what is and focus on what you can control: your response, your attitude. Your next, think of the three we discussed earlier as your Stoic compass, guiding you through the ups and downs of life. It's not about being perfect, it's about making progress. Making progress toward becoming a better, wiser, and more resilient human being is the goal. And that, my friend, is a trip that is well worth doing. Clarify your intentions. Ever felt like you're aimlessly floating through life, like a ship at sea without a specific destination? You're certainly busy, but with what exactly? If this sounds similar, then you're not alone. Let's break this down. Seneca isn't suggesting that being active is bad. In fact, the Stoics were all about taking action, but they also understood the importance of having a clear intention behind those actions. Let all your efforts be directed to something. Let it keep that end in view. People are driven mad by false conceptions, not by activity. Think about it this way. Every action and decision you make is a vote for the kind of person you want to become. If you're always reacting to outside forces or mindlessly following the crowd, it's like constantly throwing darts without a clear target. You're wasting energy and potentially causing a lot of unnecessary chaos. When you figure out your intentions, you take control of your life. You no longer let other people's agendas dictate your actions. Instead, you become the master of your own destiny. When you act with purpose and direction, knowing exactly what you want to achieve, it changes everything. I know what you're thinking, but how can I figure out my intentions? That's a reasonable concern. The Stoics have a straightforward response. But what if I still have no idea? First, take stock of your core beliefs and ideals. Consider your beliefs, priorities, and the kind of difference you wish to make in the world. Once you have a sense of your values, you may begin to live in accordance with them. This doesn't imply that you need to know all the answers, or that your intentions will remain constant. When you have a general idea of where you want to go in life, you can stay focused and make decisions that are in alignment with your true purpose, even when life is chaotic and doesn't always go according to plan. Think of your intention as a North Star that guides you through the darkness and helps you navigate life's challenges. Whenever you feel lost or uncertain, check in with your intentions. Think about your intentions. Write them down. Meditate on them. Discuss them with a trusted friend or mentor. The more you clarify your intentions, the more purposeful and fulfilling your life will become. That is the Stoic path to a life well lived. Are your actions leading you closer to your goals or further away from them? This is where the Stoic concept of oneness comes in. When our actions aren't in line with our values, we create inner turmoil and conflict, anxiety, stress, and dissatisfaction because we aren't living in harmony with our true selves. Understand yourself. Have you ever felt awkward when someone asked you a basic question like, "Who are you?" or "What do you do?" and you were at a loss for words? The ancient Stoics, who were profound thinkers, were well versed in this process of coming to terms with one's identity. The Roman philosopher and emperor Marcus Aurelius wrote extensively on the subject in his book Meditations, in which he stated that one cannot know their place in the universe, their purpose in life, or the nature of the universe itself if they are unaware of any of these things. Like a cosmic puzzle, our concept of our place in the universe, our purpose in life, and our unique identities are all interdependent. Without all three, we cannot see the full picture. I don't think it's possible to know where you're going, what you're meant to do with your life, or how to make decisions that are in line with your values and goals if you don't know who you are and your place in the universe. It may sound like some profound existential philosophy, but it's actually quite practical. When you spend time discovering who you are, what you value, and where you fit in the world, you gain direction and clarity, and you stop wasting time on trivial matters and start concentrating on the things that truly matter. So how does one begin this process of self-discovery? Asking oneself difficult questions and being truthful with oneself regarding the answers is more important than discovering the ideal solution or attaining enlightenment. In order to make informed decisions, it's important to reflect on your past experiences as well as your interests, values, and passions. To begin, let me ask you a few questions. Introspection. What do I love doing? What makes me happy? And where do I excel and where do I fall short? I need to take stock of my strengths, interests, and experiences to determine how I can best contribute to society while still achieving my personal goals. Define my fundamental principles. Do not be scared to attempt new things. These are the ideas by which I wish to conduct my life. Discover new avenues, converse with influential individuals, read thought-provoking literature, embrace the journey, and let the Stoics be your guides. Because the more you learn about yourself and the world, the closer you'll come to discovering your place in the universe. Remember, there is no finish line, no one solution that will unlock all the secrets of the universe, but the pursuit itself is what gives life meaning. Mastering your mind, distinct uses for the mind-steady guidance to achieving inner peace. Whenever you feel like your thoughts, emotions, and distractions are always pulling you in different directions, making it hard to focus or make sense of everything, you're definitely not alone. The ascent, the exercise of choice, refusal, craving, repulsion, preparation, and purpose, according to the wise Stoic philosopher Epictetus, is the legitimate work of the mind. The only thing that can contaminate and obstruct this healthy functioning, though, are poor decisions. Let's take a closer look at this. Imagine Epictetus as a Swiss Army knife for your brain. He lays out the 7 essential activities that our minds are meant to carry out and provides us with a roadmap to achieve mental clarity. Every tool serves a unique purpose, and with their proper application, they may empower you to confidently and skillfully navigate any circumstance. An option here, we find the bedrock of Stoic thought. The freedom to decide for ourselves how to react to situations, what to do, and what thoughts to entertain. The main idea is that we should not allow ourselves to be beaten down by external factors, but rather should take charge of our own life. Refusing to give in to bad influences, distractions, and temptations. It's all about establishing limits and safeguarding our emotional and psychological space from negativity. Anger is the antidote to yearning, which is the want to improve oneself, develop one's skills, and progress one's life. Desperate for the absence of negativity, unpleasant influences, and lies, we must safeguard ourselves from the influences that have the potential to corrupt our thoughts and guide us wrong. Being prepared means being ready for whatever comes your way, good times or bad. Our guiding idea is strategic purpose, which is all about being prepared for anything life throws at us by looking ahead, planning for the future, and anticipating obstacles. The 7 functions are more than just ideas. They are practical tools that can be used every day to cultivate mental clarity. Having a clear purpose in life is like having a North Star. It's the reason we get out of bed in the morning and the driving force behind our actions and decisions. When we have a clear purpose, our lives have meaning and direction. The 7th function is assent, which is about fully agreeing and approving of the things we've chosen, the things we've prepared for, and the things we believe in. It's about being present and engaged in our lives without doubting or second-guessing ourselves. Concentration and endurance. Consider them as a regimen for your mind's exercise. To put this into practice, begin by being mindful of your thoughts and behaviors. The more you do this, the stronger your mind will get. The next time you find yourself making a decision because you're afraid of the consequences or because you feel pressured to do so, stop and ask yourself if this is truly what you want and if it aligns with your beliefs and aspirations. Practice. Mastering these functions of the mind and achieving true mental clarity can be achieved through practice and perseverance. So it's important to say no to things that don't serve you and make time for activities that nourish your mind and soul. Setting clear goals and intentions for your life is also crucial, as is being kind to yourself along the way. Controlling our addictions, breaking free, the way a Stoic views addiction and clarity. In his writings, the wise Stoic philosopher Seneca warns us that our seemingly harmless indulgences, like that extra cup of coffee in the morning, mindless scrolling through social media, or the occasional indulgence in junk food, can easily become full-blown addictions. These vices chip away at our freedom and cloud our judgment if we want to keep our courage, which should be tested often, from fading away. Seneca says we need to give up a lot of things we're addicted to, even if we think they're good. Unless it rejects as trivial what the masses currently value most, its magnificence of soul will fade away and remain unnoticed. Seneca isn't advocating a life devoid of worldly pleasures like a monk would, but rather that we take stock of our habits and urges and ask ourselves honestly, are we masters of our impulses or do they dominate us? Are we allowing ourselves to be enriched by these indulgences, or are they preventing us from realizing our greatest potential? Consider this. While a cup of coffee first thing in the morning may seem like a harmless pick-me-up, you may realize that you can't get through the day without it. As simple as having a glass of wine with dinner once in a while can become a nightly pattern that dulls your senses and numbs your emotions. And that harmless Instagram scroll can swiftly grow into hours of lost time and a persistent need for affirmation from outside sources. Regardless of their size, addictions can impair our judgment and make it hard to see things clearly. When we give in to our cravings, we neglect what really matters in life. We give up our long-term goals in favor of instant satisfaction, leaving us feeling empty and unfulfilled. Fortunately, we have the ability to break free from these chains and restore our freedom. Knowing that our addictions are affecting our lives negatively requires self-awareness, which in turn requires bravery to acknowledge that we don't have control over our addictions as much as we believe we do, and self-discipline to really make a change. Finding healthier ways to cope with stress, boredom, or loneliness is more important than quitting cold turkey or denying ourselves any pleasure. It requires replacing poor habits with good ones. Practicing self-control and directing our attention toward pursuits that feed our spirits let us rediscover the clarity, bravery, and nobility of soul that is inside each and every one of us. After all, as a wise person once remarked, addiction occurs when we lose the ability to refrain. What is in our control and what isn't? What falls under our control and what does not? Feel like life is a roller coaster sometimes. The Stoic path to inner freedom can help. You feel like screaming because 1 second you're cruising along, and then out of nowhere, there's an unexpected twist or turn that throws you for a loop. In this chaotic world, there is nothing you can do. But please, just a second. Ancient thinkers known as Stoics had a unique take on the whole control issue. While some circumstances are beyond our control, we do have some say over our own opinions, as Epictetus made very plain in his works. You have your thoughts on one side of the line, and everything else that isn't under your control. Your body, your reputation, your desires, and so on. On the other side of the line is everything that is within your control, such as your desires, your dislikes, and your choices. On one hand, there is the internal realm of your thoughts, feelings, and deeds. On the other, there is the external realm of the weather, the economy, and other factors. The views of others, the most recent surprising social media drama unpredictable and frequently utterly disorganized, you might be asking, but doesn't all this external chaos affect me? Certainly, we aren't living in a vacuum. But consider this. This is the Stoic perspective. It's up to you to decide how it makes you feel. You can't change the weather, but you can do things like bring an umbrella or dance in the puddles. You also can't change the outcome of a game, but you can still enjoy yourself no matter which team wins or loses. Here is where the Stoic philosophical concept becomes useful for improving our reasoning. make a decision according to our ideals and values. In spite of outside factors, there are times when you have no say over external events, but you always have control over your reaction, and that is the source of real independence and strength. It's empowering to think of yourself as the captain of your own ship, navigating the stormy seas of life. You may not be able to control the wind or the waves, but you can adjust your sails, steer your course, and ultimately decide where you want to go. As for how to put this into practice in your daily life, when something happens that you can't control, the first step is to recognize that. Instead of letting your emotions control you, try asking yourself, how can I find the silver lining in this cloud? This is a journey, not a destination. It takes work to learn to focus on what we can control and let go of what we can't, but the payoff will be worth it. Ask yourself, what can I learn from this? And how can I use this to grow and become stronger? The key to a happier, more fulfilled life is developing your inner strength and resilience so that you can resist the pressures of the outside world. Being steady, the Stoics' manual for remaining stable in the face of uncertainty. It's easy to lose our bearings in life due to the many unexpected turns, highs, and lows that it contains. Finding your footing amid this wild commotion may be quite a challenge, especially when one moment you're feeling great and the next you're overwhelmed by stress and anxiety. What are some ways to achieve the Stoic ideal of inner tranquility and peace? Ancient thinkers held certain secrets to their worldly control. Epictetus taught that our judgment is the key to stability. He argued that external chaos provides the raw material for our reason, and that good and evil are essentially just different kinds of reasoned decisions, depending on whether you choose to work with them for either good or evil. To rephrase, it's not about external events, but rather our interpretation and reaction to them. Here's how you may think about it. It's all about making sense of the chaos and finding order in it by filtering the external world through your own judgment and reason. You're a chef in a busy kitchen, and it's easy to feel overwhelmed and stressed out because ingredients are flying everywhere, pots are boiling over, and orders are piling up. However, a good chef knows how to take raw ingredients, use their judgment and experience to choose the right ingredients, combine them in the right way, and cook them to perfection. The gridlock roads, the challenging co-workers, the unforeseen obstacles are merely components. It's our responsibility to channel our rational thinking and positive emotions into constructive ways of thinking about problems. We have the power to turn challenges into opportunities for growth, setbacks into lessons learned, and obstacles into stepping stones to success. However, if we let our irrational thoughts and negative emotions cloud our judgment, we risk making a mess instead of a masterpiece. If we want to nurture the straightener of our judgment that Epictetus writes about, it begins with self-awareness. It's like a chef who's inebriated or distracted. They're more prone to burn food, cut themselves, or produce a chaotic disaster. Keep an eye on your internal dialogue and recognize when you're jumping to conclusions or letting your emotions get the best of you. Then pause and ask yourself if this is the best way to approach the matter at hand. Embrace mindfulness and meditation as tools to cultivate inner calm and clarity, even in the face of chaos. These practices can help you become more aware of your thoughts and emotions, allowing you to respond with choice rather than impulsiveness. Building the kind of judgment that leads to steadiness and tranquility is a lifelong endeavor, but the rewards are immeasurable. When you learn to view the world through the prism of reason and virtue, you'll discover that you're less reactive, less stressed, and more at peace with yourself and the world. It's the Stoic path to a more fulfilling and joyful life. Being unsteady, let's talk about peace of mind, that elusive condition of calm and tranquility that we all seek. We usually imagine a monk meditating in a remote temple or a yogi discovering Zen on a mountaintop. But the Stoics, those ancient practical philosophers, had a different idea. They believed that real tranquility comes from taking control of our own minds while we're in the midst of life's chaos, rather than trying to escape it. Epictetus, the no-nonsense Stoic teacher, put it this way: if one applies caution to one's own reasoned decisions and the actions of those decisions, they will simultaneously develop the will to avoid. But if one applies caution to things not under one's control, In an effort to avoid what is controlled by others, one will then become agitated, anxious, and unstable. Let's dissect it. Epictetus is essentially advising his audience to let their emotions run wild by fixating on things over which they have no control, such as the behavior of other people or the outcomes of outside events. Amid the newest political drama, you'll be as helpless as a leaf in the wind, tossed about by the unpredictable hand of fate. To achieve lasting serenity, however, you must direct your attention to the things over which you have direct influence. You don't need to become an emotionless robot to be attentive of your inner state and respond to situations in a way that aligns with your principles and values. It simply means paying closer attention to your judgments and reactions. Picture yourself like a surfer gliding through life's waves, some of which are high and turbulent, and others of which are low and soothing. But they all contribute to the ocean as a whole. Though the waves may be out of your hands, how you handle them is entirely in your hands. If you let your inhibitions down and ride the wave like an expert, you'll come out on top. What does it mean to put this into practice in your daily life? Well, it begins with being mindful of your thoughts and reactions. The Stoics recognize that life is full of challenges and setbacks, but instead of trying to avoid them, they embrace them as chances for growth and learning. Take note of the times you find yourself becoming agitated over matters beyond your control. Before you let your energy go, ask yourself if the situation is truly worth it, if there's a way to alter it, or if you simply need to shift your viewpoint. Be present and meditative. By practicing these techniques, you can learn to be more detached from the world around you and more in tune with your own thoughts and feelings, which will allow you to respond thoughtfully rather than reacting on the fly. Keep in mind that the goal is not to live a hermit's life. Rather, it is to master your own mind and find serenity within life's ups and downs. The Stoic way to a more satisfying and joyous existence, in conclusion, is to be the tranquil center in the middle of the whirlwind, the eye of the storm. It's not the events themselves that matter, but your reaction to them, as Epictetus astutely put it. Stoicism is more than simply a philosophy. It's a path to a life of resilience, purpose, and joy. The key is not to seek happiness and fulfillment outside of ourselves, but to embrace it. Practical strategies for managing our emotions are given to us by Stoicism. This exploration of Stoicism will help you manage problems, nurture virtues, and live a satisfying life. It's about being in harmony with nature, acting in accordance with our principles, and discovering your purpose. Thank you for joining me. Through daily Stoic practices like mindfulness, gratitude, and self-discipline, we can build resilience and inner tranquility. We can navigate the ups and downs of life with a sense of purpose and calm, knowing that we have the tools to handle whatever comes our way. Stoicism offers us a path to reclaiming our power and finding peace, even in the midst of modern life's relentless pace. Thank you for watching. If you found this video helpful, please share your thoughts on Stoicism in the comments below. And don't forget to explore more videos on personal development and philosophy right here on our channel. Together, let's continue this journey towards a more balanced and fulfilling life.